What's up guys, welcome back. This time we're going to be going over chaos chests, their locations, and how to farm the keys for them. If in part 2 you get Prickle back in your party and talk to him in Valrika's lab, he'll recommend that you come back to the secret base in the machine realm, and then you'll get a side quest for him where you have to rescue 5 robots, then fight a boss, and then you can rescue the 6th robot. And once you do, you get access to this machine that tells you where it'll give you a hint to where the remaining robots are and where all the remaining chests are that you haven't opened, but I mainly used it just to confirm that I had them all. There's 10 robots in total. I'll link the video where I explain all that in the description below, as well as timestamps if you want to skip ahead to the key farm or any of the locations for any of the chests. And I'll go ahead and get into where to farm the keys. So you'll have to have access to the elemental trials to be able to get these keys. There's a few things you'll have to do first. You'll have to go to the hidden valley and complete that area. You have to go to the lab communication room in Valrika's base. And for the dark or holy trials, which you don't have to have them to get access to the keys, but if you want to go there to farm, you will have to do Zenniker's quest called Triangle of Calamities. You can do this like key farm in any of the trials. It's really whichever one you prefer. I'm showing footage from when I went through the fire trial. Just so happens to be the one that I chose to do. It's really whichever element that your characters are the strongest with. Like I know Cheryl and Valrika have access to ice, so this would be a good one if they're your strongest characters. So you can pick whichever one you want to go to. I'm going to do the way that I found was the best, because you only need 10 keys. Only 10 chaos chests. So there's 6 trials. As you're completing this quest, you can kind of knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. And you're going to want to go through, and in the late game, I found it much faster because the burnout got real toward the end, especially in like the like second half really. Just fight an enemy for the first time once it's new, analyze it, you know, after you've beaten it once, just run from everything. There's plenty of good places to farm experience. Most of the enemies give like pretty crappy experience. I mean, you can fight them if you want, but I found it better as I was going through. Don't see an Orbling, no new enemies, run away. And then farm experience somewhere better like the Omega Thaumatech Factory, Shangri-La, or in the very last dungeon. But you can do it whichever way you want. You can fill up the dimension with all 50 and then fight, or like I said, you can just run through these trials, run from everything, and stop and actually fight the Orblings. But it's up to you. So I'll skip to when I finally encounter an Orbling. So I finally encounter an Orbling here, and I'm unable to kill it because it gets the second turn. Leo's the fastest. He also hits pretty hard, but I can't hit the Orbling from this angle, which is unfortunate. And so it's going to run away. I use it as an opportunity to analyze it. If you were to use the Dimension, you'd probably have a better chance, but you're also going to be fighting a ton of other enemies. And since, like I said, you're already going to be going through this area, all 6 of them, and in this run of the first trial, I found 2 Orblings, and you only need 10 keys. So I recommend doing it like this if you can, you know, if you're able to get them down in like 1 turn. But if not, it's probably better to just use the Dimension strategy.
Ready to engage. Inputting data.
So yeah, there he goes. Very unfortunate.
We should run.
Already defeated these enemies and analyzed them, so I just run away. But here is an example of when I found one and I was able to take it down.
This one looks dangerous.
This move is just so strong.
Here it goes.
Push off the other enemies and you'll get a key.
Here's my target.
Now that you know where to find them, and I kind of let you know the 2 different ways to go about it, I'll leave that up to you. Probably better to do the dimension strategy if you're like really trying to farm. But if you're just going through, you might end up getting them like this and you won't have to waste any time. So now let's get into the locations of the chests. So there's only 10. In the Midi Toybox, you can press a button by this barrel. I think you have to hit the button, you might not have to hit it, to make these 2 chests over here appear. So there's the first 2. Next you're going to warp to the underground Coliseum jail. Also, I freed all 3 prisoners earlier in the story. I think you really need to do that for a chest coming up soon, but on the second, like above where you warp, the next floor up, there's 2 chests right over here. Then warp to the Royal Capital Center. Go in here. And I think that you have to set one of those prisoners free to make this chest appear. You might not have to. If you didn't, you'll have to do it on New Game Plus. But you might not have to do that to make this chest appear. But here it is. If you can get it. Then warp to the Royal Capital Town Center, go in Leo's house, and then in the backyard, you'll find 3 more chests. Next, you're going to warp to Bernard's laboratory in the Hidden Valley. There is a chest on the first floor right here, and there's a chest on the second floor. I'll show you where that's at. I hope I was able to help anyone that was needing help with this. And if I was, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a good one. I'll see you on the next one.
Baby, I wish you missed me like that.